Hello students, in this video I will go through a couple exercise questions on solving rational equations. So let's take a look. So right now in this equation I have a rational expression on the left and a rational expression on the right, and I need to solve for the value of k. So bear in mind, okay, there are values of k here that this will not work for. And we got to make sure whatever value of k that we end up with at the end, that it does not equal to those excluded values. So let's just write out what the excluded values are right off the bat here. So I know that k, having gone through the exercises from before, I know that k cannot equal to 5. Because if k did equal to 5, then this will go to undefined and this will be undefined. And we can't have that. Alright, so if k cannot equal to 5, whatever else k turns out to be, that would be okay. Alright, so let's find out what the solution is. So to do that, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to create common denominators on both sides of the equation here. Or, right, what we can do, okay, is actually no, let's just create common denominator. I'll keep the same method, okay, for all the different problems that we go through here. So you can have, so 6 here is really 6 over 1, and I want to add the these two values together, okay, on the right. So in order for me to do that, I want to create a common denominator. I'm going to multiply by k plus 5 over k plus 5, and therefore I will have a common denominator of k plus 5, right? Again, if what I just did here was a little too fast for you, right, this is the same thing as k times k plus 5 over k plus 5 plus 1 over k plus 5, right? That was the transition. Anyway, so this simplifies to 6k plus 5, no, plus 30 plus 1 over k plus 5. And on the left-hand side, it's still k plus 1 over k plus 5. So right now, looks like I made a mistake. My apologies. This is what happens when you're talking by yourself. This should be a minus, because that's what it was over here. And this is a minus. And that's a minus, and that's a minus. And then this will be a minus. And that's a minus. Okay, so let me fix all that. So that's, oh, and these guys are minuses. Okay, so this is minus, 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 all fixed. Okay, so I end up with this last step over here, and if I have the same things on either side of the equation, it could be dropped, right? If I multiply both sides by k plus 5, that's what happens. The k plus 5 will be canceled. So I'm left with k plus 1 is equal to 6k minus 29. I will now subtract 1 from both sides. I will subtract 1 from both sides. And I'm going to subtract 6k from both sides. And if I do that, I'll end up with negative 5k is equal to negative 30. Divide both sides by negative 5, I end up with k is equal to 6. Since k is equal to 6 and k cannot equal to 5, this answer is going to be valid. Again, you always need to make sure that the answer that you get does not fall into the value that is excluded. Okay? Alright, let's take a look at the next one. Alright, so again, very similar manner. What we need to do is we got to create common denominators here. Okay? So looking at these expressions over here, okay, these guys have common denominator. I got to make this fraction here have the same denominator. So in order for me to accomplish that, 4 over x, I'm going to multiply by x squared Actually, I'm not going to multiply by x squared because here, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So this is the same thing as 1 over x times x plus 3, 4 over x, plus 5 over x times x plus 3. So if you notice the fraction over here, what I'm missing is not x squared plus 3x, but I'm missing a factor of x plus 3. I would have created more work for myself if I didn't think about what I am doing. So I end up with this, okay? The fraction on the right ends up being 4 times x plus 3 plus 5 all over x times x plus 3, and then the fraction on the left is 1 over x times x plus 3. Since I have the same things in the denominator on either side, I can drop that, and this is 1 is equal to 4 times x plus 3 plus 5. Distribute the 4 and combine like terms. I end up with 4x plus 12 plus 5 is equal to 1. I will now combine like terms. I get 4x plus 17 is equal to 1. Subtract both sides by 17. I get negative 16 is equal to 4x, or x is equal to negative 4. So x is equal to negative 4. I need to make sure that this is not an answer that is supposed to be excluded, right? So what can x not equal to? X cannot equal to 0 or negative 3. So this answer checks out. It is okay. Let's take a look at the next one. All right. So, pause the video here to see if you can figure this out on your own. Hopefully you guys had some time to think about this. This problem here is really no different from the ones that I just went through with you guys. So looking at this, the fraction on the left, this is 15r plus 5 over, I want to figure out the factors here. This is the same thing as 4 times r squared minus r minus 6. And then this guy over here, r plus 1, is 2 times r squared minus r minus 6. And this guy over here is r plus 1 over 4 times r plus 1. And I can actually factor this even further. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to erase this. So what I will be left with is r minus 3, r plus 2. And over here, r minus 3, r plus 2. Okay, so what I need to do, looking at this now, okay, I need to create common denominators, and it looks like the common denominator on both sides will be combinations of all of these different factors. Okay, so what am I missing in the fraction on the left? I am missing a r plus 1. So what I need to do is I am going to rewrite this. I want to give myself a little bit of room. And I want to give myself a little bit of room here. So it looks like I am missing an r plus 1 over r plus 1. It looks like I am missing a 2 times r plus 1 over 2 times r plus 1. Right? And over here, what am I missing? I am missing a r minus 3, r plus 2, r minus 3, and r plus 2. So the denominators are all the same on either side, so now what I can do is I can just multiply this out. This is 15r plus 5 times r plus 1, and this is equal to 2 times r plus 1 times r plus 1 minus r plus 1 times r minus 3 times r plus 2. Oh boy. Okay? Alright, so oh no, it looks like I made a mistake over here. This guy over here was an 8, which means this is not 1 but 2. And this is not 1 but it's 2. Whoops. And that changes a lot of stuff, unfortunately. So actually, I'm glad that you guys are seeing this, because sometimes when you are talking to yourself, okay, mistakes tend to happen. Alright, so what should have happened then, right? The common factors, let's see here, giving myself a little bit of room. So what I am missing from the first fraction is, on the left, is nothing. I'm not missing anything. So actually I'm going to bring this back. So this is good. What I'm missing from the second fraction is, I'm missing a 2. What I'm missing on the third fraction is an r minus 3. There you go. That makes a whole lot more sense. Okay? And then what I can do now is I can just drop the denominator. So I have 15r plus 5 is equal to 2 times r plus 1 minus r plus 1 times r minus 3. I still need to solve for r. So I end up with 2r plus 2 minus r squared minus 2r minus 3, and I have 15r plus 5. I'm going to distribute, so I have 2r plus 2 minus r squared plus 2r plus 3. I have 15r plus 5, and looks like the 5 will cancel out with the 2 and 3. It looks like I have a negative r squared. If I combine the 2r and r, that makes 4r. Subtracted by 15r, that gets me negative 11r. And that's all I have. Okay, so I got negative 11r. So this is the same thing as, this is equal to 0, right? Because I subtract both sides by 15r. So then what I end up with is negative r plus 11. So r will equal to 0 or negative 11. But what can r not equal to? R cannot equal to 3, negative 2, just 3 and negative 2. And I am in the clear, so 0 and negative 1 will work. Alright, and then the last one here. I think this is the last one. Nope. Okay, 2 more. So then this is, pause the video to see if you can figure this out. So here I have 1 over m minus 6, right, plus 5 times m minus 1 over m plus 6, m minus 6, equal to m over m minus 6. create common denominators again. So I'm missing an m plus 6 in the first fraction. In the second fraction, I'm not missing anything, so it's the same thing. In the third fraction, over here, I am missing a m plus 6. So now I have the same denominator all throughout. I have m plus 6 plus 5 times m minus 1 is equal to m times m plus 6. Again, I need to distribute and combine like terms. I end up with, on the left-hand side here, 6m plus 1 equal to m squared plus 6m. So I end up with m squared minus 1 is equal to 0, where this factors into m plus 1, m minus 1. So therefore m is equal to plus or minus 1. And I just need to make sure that, again, this doesn't fall into the things that are excluded. M cannot equal to 6 or negative 6, so I am in the clear. And this is the last one. Yes. Okay, we can do this. All right, so p plus 2. So I can multiply this by p. So p plus 1 over p plus 2 times p over p is equal to 1 over p squared plus 2p plus p squared plus 2p minus 24 all over p squared plus 2p. So now that I have the same denominator in every fraction, I can just drop the denominator. I have p times p plus 1 is equal to 1 plus p squared plus 2p minus 24. The left-hand side end up with p squared plus p is equal to 1 plus p squared plus 2p minus 24. I notice I have a p squared on both sides of the equation. And I am going to subtract both sides by 2p. I end up with negative p. 1 minus 24 is negative 23. So therefore p is equal to 23. And what can p not equal to? P cannot equal to 0 or negative 2. So I am in the clear. This answer is good. Okay.